Good morning, Mrs. and all my friends. First of all, thank you for coming here today. And it's nice to see you all. Okay, for the first, let's start to introduce myself. My name is Helena Mutiara Utomo. You can call me Mutiara. Now I'm student of Communication Science at Unika Sukio Pranoto, Semarang. Before I move on to the main topic, for the first, what's on your mind when you hear the word communication? I think we have the same thought if communication is talking to the other people. But can you imagine if communication can be a profession? Today I will present to you one of the profession which is a product of communication. It's called journalist. So to better understand journalist profession, I will divide my presentation into four parts. For the first is what is journalism? And the second, what you should do if you want to be a journalist. Then what education you should be taken if you want to be a journalist. And I will end it by benefit about being a journalist. My presentation will take around 10 minutes and there will be time for questions after my presentation done. I will send my presentation to our class WhatsApp group later. So let's start this presentation with what is journalism. I will give you a fact about journalism. As we know, creative industry media in Indonesia is growing rapidly. Based on akupintar.id, communication science include in the most 15 major that needed in the future. And then, based on Oxford Dictionary, journalism was the work of collecting and writing news stories for newspaper, magazines, radio, television, or news online site. The news stories that are written, and in my opinion, journalism is when you read anything and you share it in mass media. Journalism is not only about writing news or article, but if you share your story, poems first in mass media, it's top journalism too. And now we will move to the tips and tricks if you want to be a journalist. Based on wayup.com, there are 5 tips if you want to be a journalist. For the first, earn your bachelor degree. When the keys to starting a career in journalism is earning your bachelor's degree. You should pick the type of journalism you want to pursue. For example, investigative journalism or broadcast journalism. You should pick a major that appropriates the specific journalism that you pick for your career. And then develop your writing skills by writing extensively across a broad range of subjects. You can start by create your own blog or intensively share your article on freelance basis. Next, establish connection with reporters and editors. As we know in the media industry, networking is important. The best way to approach networking is by reaching out to reporters and editors you admire and asking them to set up a time to chat. Once you connect with them, you can ask them for any advice if you want to be a professional journalist. And for the last, intern with a newspaper, magazine, or media company. An important step in any journalism career is internship because an internship will help you gain experience for what the day-to-day life as a journalist looks like. And then next, let me turn to education, what you should be taken if you want to be a journalist. If you want to be a professional journalist, you have bachelor degrees in either communication or journalism. All journalism major take course in editing, journalistic ethics, reporting, feature writing, photojournalism, and communication. There are 2 career options in journalism, that is print journalist and broadcast journalist. Print journalist will take you to position that's available in print media like newspaper and magazine, and online media. Usually, journalists will be writing some articles specialists in certain fields, such as politics, entertainment, sports, or weather. And broadcast journalists usually choose to be a newscaster or correspondent with radio and television news outlets. Newscasters are more commonly known as news anchor, who present and introduce news packages. And for the last, before I end my presentation, I will give you 7 benefits about being a journalist. For the first, you get to learn for a living. You work in challenging and exciting projects. You work among passionate, informed people. You feel a strong sense of achievement. You get to travel, you get to meet a lot of interesting people, and you become an expert in your community. And then I will give you a summary about my presentation. Uh, to summarize, just to summarize the main topics of my presentation, being a journalist is all about passion. Journalists have their function to share messages to around the world. When you choose for being a journalist, you have a big responsibility for share a true message. In my opinion, before we choose to be a journalist, we should have a intuition for difference between hoax and true message. So before I close my presentation, as Otto von Bismarck said, a journalist is a person who has mistaken their calling. I think this is enough for my presentation. If you have questions or comments, feel free to share your feedback to my social media. Thank you for your attention and see you next time.